Good morning. Happy holidays to everybody. And this is the first coffee and cleaners in a little while, and this is a special one because I have a gift. My good friend Yash, who shares my manic enthusiasm for built-in vacuums, especially vintage Spencer ones. Yash has been helping me with some marketing, which is a talent of his, and I'm especially grateful for his help in building our business. But a special gift arrived from Yash, and here it is, a coffee and cleaners mug. And so that's the very nice design on this side, and on the other side, I'm realizing that I shouldn't have filled it with coffee quite yet, but that's okay. So we have TUEC, the United Electric Company, Arco Wand, American Radiator Company, and the Spencer Turbine Cleaner Company. So this will be a pre-1918 mug. I'll tell you what, the coffee tastes delicious in it. So thank you, Yash. I'm just thrilled. Today I'd like to share with you a little leaflet I have about Richmond vacuum cleaning systems. Now Richmond, sort of like Arco Wand, made a line of boilers and radiators, and so they thought that the vacuum cleaning systems would be a good sideline to those because every house was getting heat, and so your heating contractors were in front of everybody, and if they chose to push vacuum systems, well, then that's that they had easy leads for that. They're around, they're not as common, but they're still more common than I mean, there were a lot of brands that even I've never heard of, and they're just, I've never seen even in pictures. When's the last time you saw a Water Witch or a Palm or a Dunlock or a Blaisdell or a Creamery Package or anyway. So this Richmond brochure has some interesting text. Warning, all persons are warned that henceforth all authorized stationary vacuum cleaning plants will bear the McCrum-Howell Company license plate. Systems offered without the McCrum-Howell Company license are infringements and will subject not only the makers thereof, but also the purchasers and those who use them to damage suits. So, so the deal was that Richmond McCrum-Howell bought some patents to do with vacuum cleaning, and they were trying to lock up the entire vacuum cleaner business. And in the time when this was printed, trying to find a date on here, I think this is about 1910, but you can see how well that turned out for them. Richmond actually also made a portable vacuum cleaner, just an upright with a bag on it, no rotating brush, obviously. That was Hoover's patent. It was just a little nozzle. And this brochure centers on their built-in vacuums for homes, because they did some bigger work too, and I'll touch on that in a few minutes. All vacuum cleaning patents, all those covering the vital elements of the science, have now been brought under one control. It is possible to offer a stationary vacuum cleaning system which can be installed without fear of infringement or damage suits. Because everybody was... I mean, it's an angle. A highly respected broom as a relic of barbarism. The housekeeper of the next generation will express doubt when informed that the housekeepers of this generation were compelled to clean house with brooms, mops, rags, carpet sweepers, feather dusters, and carpet beaters. They will find it quite a task to believe, too, that in our day it was a problem for those of us who were not familiar with the built-in vacuum systems, whether to open the windows to let the air in or to close them to keep out the dust. With a perfected Richmond vacuum cleaning system installed in a building, there will be no dust problem to solve. There will be no dust. The annual expense for renewing and replacing damaged fabrics and finished surfaces alone would pay the interest on the cost of a substantial built-in Richmond vacuum cleaning system. I always like the artwork. The I don't know what kind of photo editing means were used at the time, but this is not the only place where you see a drawing and then a photograph, probably literally cut and pasted. Obviously, there was no computer editing at the time, but I'm not sure what was it just as simple as cutting out around the lady playing paper dolls. And here's the machine. You can see he's holding the drawer where the dust goes. The motor drives a pump, and this will be a rotary positive displacement pump. So quite high vacuum. There will be a relief valve, but very little airflow. And that'll be a 1.5 inch pipe going up and feeding the, oh no, this one on the right is the exhaust pipe. So on the left here you have the intake. This will have a cloth filter inside of it. And then over here, this whole big thing is a muffler and oil separator. And the pipes that run from here back down, oil is supposed to continually flow through and lubricate the pump. And that's needed because of the close clearances, otherwise it would run too hot and wear itself out. So that was their single operator plant. I had an opportunity to acquire one, but it was not in good shape and it was far away and heavy as hell. And I probably should have taken that opportunity, but that would have taken up the space that another Spencer could have occupied. So there was a big emphasis on the ability of vacuum cleaning to reduce disease, which there's something to that, but it's not quite as, you know, they're exaggerating for the purpose of hawking their wares here. But sanitation, plumbing, did help greatly to extend the life and the quality of life of people in this time period. And so if plumbing with water and waste would help so much to improve your quality of life, well, why wouldn't air sanitation do the same? So you can see the line of thinking that they follow here. There is but one way in the world to utterly suppress and remove the dust contents of a building, i.e., by means of a substantial vacuum cleaning system with conduits leading out of doors. A city residence without a modern sanitary plumbing system nowadays would be a curiosity. A city residence without a modern sanitary dust removal system installed in its cellar will, within a very short time, be quite as much of a curiosity as one without plumbing. And dust removal is likely to be required ultimately by law. And we're still working on that. The Richmond is the only perfect system. The Richmond is the only system protected by 85 vital patents. Buy a Richmond and save money and avoid damage suits. If it's Richmond, it's right. So I don't know. Do the alarm bells go off in you when you read a piece of sales literature that threatens to sue you if you buy someone else's product? So that's my little Richmond pamphlet. I mentioned that Richmond did some bigger vacuum cleaning work. Here I have a printed picture from the Heating and Ventilating magazine showing the triplex vacuum system that was installed in Marshall Field's flagship store on Michigan Avenue in Chicago. 3 12-sweeper reciprocating pump units, and so 36 people could potentially vacuum with this at a time. And can you imagine? Can you imagine the noise and the power required to run all of these? Like you flip your little switch to turn the vacuum on before you grab the hose, and this whole thing roars to life. I wonder if any of this is still in Marshall Fields, which is now called Macy's. Incidentally, I was just watching the the movie Miracle on 34th Street, which is set in New York City in the Macy's flagship store there. And in a shot of the employee area, the back of the store, I noticed a Spencer inlet towards the baseboard. So I'll have to go to Macy's next time I'm in New York City and see if there's any others I can find. And here is an ad for the system that this pamphlet shows. This is their little one-user machine for a home. Probably weighs 600 pounds. And this is from September 1910. So we're still pretty early in the game, and the later you go, I mean, this is before my earliest Spencer machine that I have here. Spencer was making them starting in 1905, but the further you go down the line of these early, the timeline of early built-in vacuums in the 1910s and 20s, the later you go, the fewer positive displacement systems there are. And that tells you something. But at the time, this would have been treated kind of like a carpet cleaning truck today. The nozzles were called renovators, and in fact, you were kind of like dry renovating your carpets. And a lot of times this would be used periodically, and your daily cleanup would still be done with a broom or a carpet sweeper. Despite the efforts of these companies to say this is all you need and this will replace everything else, you can throw away every other cleaning apparatus in your home. Then as now, we have trouble getting people to get the hose out and use it. So, and at this time there was no such thing as retractable hoses, of course. Let's see if we can get a shot. Yeah, shipping weight in pounds, 650. Number of sweepers capacity, list price, $500. So there's your little Richmond info of the day for today's post-holidays but pre-New Year's coffee and cleaners, with a special thanks to Yash for my new mug. And thank you for watching.